what I would love to talk about is that makes me look good. The smoke makes you feel.
Yeah,
it makes me look very grainy.
Right, I'm trying to give you.
Is what happens? Experiences that I've had when my parents passed away. Things that happened to me, and I don't know if it happens to everybody. I hope it does, because it's because it's kind of cool. My father. Have you had anything happen to you with anybody in your family? Anybody you know?
I've had something that. Oh, go ahead.
Both. I was just talking about my parents passing.
No, but you've had something. Because I've had a bunch of stuff. I had a bunch of stuff
happen. Everybody who's passed away have had something. Not just my parents, for people I'm very close to, and it usually comes in dreams. But I know what you're talking about. Something that
actually happened, and it was weird.
Yeah, my answer is yes, but mostly it's dreams. But
oh, really?
Vivid.
Oh, wow.
Unique dreams where I think they are there and they're talking, and I wake up with that. I have very vivid dreams. I've always had vivid dreams for some weird reason since I was a kid. And I wake up like with the emotion of, oh my God, I talked to my dad and I saw my dad and mom, and and I do believe, when someone dies, the body dies, the spirit goes on, the soul, whatever you want to call. And I believe they do hang around loved ones until they take another body, because I do believe in past lives. I know George doesn't, but I do believe we come back, and not just this planet, but other planets. But I do believe that dreams will give you an insight on people who passed away, and because I've seen uncanny things that are just so real that I believe it. Anyway.
Yeah.
What happened to you with your dad? Didn't you say there was something?
Yeah, a bunch of. I mean, I could talk about it for an hour.
What stands out the most? What was like that convinced you?
Towards the end of my father's life, I always loved my dad, and he loved me and proud of me and all that. But we were just kind of, there was a little bit of friction, and he died, and I was walking my dog. I was living in Encino at the time. I was walking my dog, and I was coming down, getting close to my house, and this really warm breeze just like almost lifted me off the ground.
He had just died, or before?
No, I don't know the exact amount. It was fairly recent. It was a couple of weeks.
Oh, okay.
At the most, a couple of weeks.
I got you.
And I wasn't lifted off the ground, but I kind of went like that, and I said, well, that was kind of weird. And then I heard a voice say, "I'm sorry."
Wow.
And I said, "Oh, okay." And I immediately thought of my dad. And I said, "Well, I'm sorry too." And the breeze died, and I went inside and I collapsed, and I just had a break. I just went down on the floor, was crying, and told
I got chills when you said
that. Renee, what happened? I said, I just think my dad came to me and apologized.
Wow.
Which he hardly ever did.
He wanted to at that point.
And that was one of
I always think because your dad had a history with owning car lots, and you guys had fun going and buying cars and things when he was alive. The fact that you keep your interest in cars up, that's a way of staying active in something that
we were just about to cry over his dad saying, "Sorry, what does it have to do with a car lot?"
I get where you're going, George.
But,
maybe. I mean, he introduced me to cars, and I love cars, but I just my wife had something happen to her. She was sleeping in the room with Bailey, and there was this when Bailey was this is right when my father was, so Bailey was an infant, and she woke up, and my father always had a hat on and wore these shorts and whatever. And my wife woke up and saw somebody standing over the crib.
Did your father see your daughter?
No.
Okay.
Because the baby was in the crib, and there was somebody looking over the crib.
That's exactly what it was.
And my wife looked, and she said he looked back at her, and just disappeared.
Oh.
Wow.
And I just find that now
they want to let you know.
No, so then I go back and forth with, is it your imagination? Did it really happen? Is it what I was thinking in the moment? You know, I wish I'd have told my dad I loved him more, but he wasn't that guy.
Same thing with
right.
me.
And your dad, thank God, is still alive, and your mom.
That's right.
But I'll tell you one other weird. I got a bunch of. I'll tell you one more weird one, then I'll you guys go. So my brother calls me one day and he says, "What time do you think Daddy died?" I said, "Stephen, before that." Never mind. So I said, "Stephen, I have no idea because he died in his sleep."
Yeah, I was just gonna say he didn't die with anybody.
No, he died all by himself,
yeah.
and he knew he was going to die. He knew it.
You said that.
He shaved his head. My mother who was sick with Alzheimer's, was with my brother, and he went to bed and died. But anyway, he said, "What time do you think Daddy passed away?" And I said, "I have no idea. I mean, how could I even know that?" So I'm sleeping one night, and there was a radio CD player that my father had given me, and I never set the alarm on it. I never did anything to it. I never even played CDs on it, nothing.
Okay.
And then I think it was like 2:33 in the morning. This radio starts playing.
Wow.
And I wake up and I go, "What? Where?" My wife is like, "What is this music?" So I'm walking around the house and it was in my office, and I went, all right. So I unplugged. I shut it and I unplugged it.
Mm-hmm.
Then I plugged it in.
Okay.
The next night, sleeping. I hear the music. 2:33 in the morning. And I go, what is going on? So I go back in there, unplug it again. The third night, 2:33 in the morning. I never set the alarm. When you unplug it, you kill all the memory in it. So I said to Stephen, my brother, I said, "I think Daddy died at 2:33 in the morning." But it was just weird,
You know he did.
I guess.
I'm telling you he did. What?
It's like poltergeist.
Yeah, it was.
I'm saying he did. I have no doubt, and it does fit with the scenario, right? Because he could have easily, because you found in the morning. Who did your brother find?
My brother found him.
Yeah.
And I don't give too much of that, but I know my brother obviously my whole life, but I went. My brother was there. I went, and my brother was standing on the steps of my parents' house, and guys, my brother was gone. He was standing there, but I didn't. He was out of body.
He left his body.
My brother was gone.
I believe.
And I talked to him. He didn't even acknowledge me, and I went inside. Horrible.
So
horrible.
Did you get there before the medical and the police?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't know.
Yeah. Anyway, it was.
Okay.
I hope people die, and boy, this is a really uplifting.
No, first of all, I'm going to say bodies die. Nobody ever dies. I think your existence, your consciousness goes forever, and I think that's the whole reason. That's what a soul is. I think the bodies die, they go on. We all see each other when we leave our bodies, and we continue this forever. I do, so it's actually uplifting. Because nobody dies. I guess so. The body dies, you don't die.
But there's so many things that you want to do, things that you want to say, and you never, how many times I would go to my parents' house and think, you know what, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to say, "Dad, I love you," and give him a big hug. And every time I walk in the door, I say, "What the hell do you want?"
Yeah.
And then we go, "Oh God, forget it. I'm not going to hug him. Screw him."
I remember my dad. I would sit out in front of my house, and we lived in the same city, and I'd see this little blue Chevy Lumina, and he had a little cap, and sometimes he'd be doing errands, he'd drive by, and I'm out there smoking in the side of my house. We called it the park, and my dad would come by.
Did he smoke?
No, nothing. No, he was teetotal.
And you smoked cigars?
Yeah.
In front of him?
Yeah.
My father would have killed me.
No, he knew I didn't inhale. He said, "Well, if you're going to smoke, that's okay." My dad adored me, and I adored him. He was the ward cleaver.
My dad would smoke with me once in a while.
But
yours would?
Yeah, he still does.
Oh, and he came to the cigar shop once in a while.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
I'm sorry, we're off Mark. We're off Mark. Sorry,
anyway,
Mark.
The point is, he would drive by, and I remember, and maybe I'd have a couple of friends, and anybody who met my dad loved him. But I'm going, really, you didn't call, you didn't, my dad just drove by and he pulled over.
Looking for something to do.
He's looking for and I look at now after he passed away, I go, Oh my God! I wish you'd drive up now and say. I mean, I got like, really, Dad? It's 3 in the afternoon. I got a date later, but I gotta.
Yeah.
So anybody out there, parents still alive?
If your parents are alive, no, but if your parents are alive, tell them you love them.
Yeah, do.
Give them a big hug.
Yeah.
And because you never know.
You know, when I was still living in Ohio, obviously, I was very young. We had a crabapple tree in our backyard. It's still there, and I was sitting on a.
Can you eat crab apples?
No.
I didn't think so.
Oh.
Because we had crab apple tree. Sorry,
Yeah,
go.
you couldn't.
I was sitting on a
crabs?
branch. I was sitting on a branch with my brother, one of my younger brothers, and the branch was this tree wasn't strong enough to hold us, and there's nothing behind us, and the branch started to fold. It didn't break; it started to bend because we were two kids sitting on it, and we flipped backwards like this, or we were sitting like this, and we flipped backwards as if we were like going to fall on our head, and something hit both of us in our back and pushed us up. It actually knocked the wind out of me. And it actually scared the crap out of me because I knew there was nothing behind me. It was just, somebody was watching.
You mean there was no branch behind
nothing.
you?
Yeah.
So who was that? Who did that?
Well, I always thought it was a guardian
the
angel or something.
Oh,
But,
so it's not about anybody dying.
well, I was getting to that.
It
Could have been if
Taking you a long
my
time.
grandparents, if they were gone, then it could, I never thought of it as somebody in my family.
How high
was
up were
watching
you?
me. Probably about 6 feet.
How high were you?
Well,
Never
I mean,
been
who
high.
knows? Who knows?
But that's the only thing I could actually not explain in my life that happened to me.
Oh, that's
could.
Oh man, there's so much I want to say.
I mean, I don't know where I come down on all that. I believe in God. I believe in heaven. I just believe in it because I can't.
Do you believe that you exist beyond this body?
Beyond this body?
Yeah. When you die, do you believe your consciousness goes on, whether it's heaven or anything?
I believe it goes on.
Do you ever think you come back?
No,
I do.
I don't.
Okay. Where do you think you go?
I think you go up to heaven and I hang out with a bunch of angels on a cloud.
Really?
And I listen to music and I play with my dogs.
So who goes to hell?
You.
Just Jewish people.
Non-believers.
Just Jewish people.
No, non-believers. Anybody that says you go to another body, you go right to hell.
Okay.
You don't even pass
Are
go.
the bad girls in hell? Yeah, all the bad people are in hell.
All the bad people are in hell. Yeah, all the non-believers.
And the bad girls.
Right, and the bad girls. But they get ugly when they get down there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, they're ugly when I'm present here in this lifetime.
All right, anyway.
Okay.
So if you love your parents, don't regret anything. Give them a hug and a kiss. Tell them you love them.
And if you don't love your parents, still give them a hug and a kiss and say you love them.
See up my nose with the